4 of the most evil female killers. Have you ever heard of the 4 most evil female killers? It is commonly presumed that all serial killers are men, but that isn't completely true. Today we will be talking about Fairer Intimacy. Who are these evil female killers? Let's quickly get into today's video and smash the subscription button down below. Here we begin. Number 4. Leonardo Cianciulli. You will find that before she was recognized as the soap maker of Correggio, who assassinated 3 women and later spun their remains into tea cakes and soap, Leonardo Cianciulli was a committed Italian mother. The latter wished to protect her son during World War II. After her son announced that he would be joining the army, she was devastated. And this, incorporated with her conceptions of superstitions, establishes the wheels in motion for Leonardo Cianciulli to come to be one of the most famous female serial murderers of the 20th century. Now let's talk about her murder history. We know that between 1939 and 1940, this Italian lady serial killer Leonardo Cianciulli massacred 3 women, all of whom were middle-aged 9 instances. She later gave rise to tea cakes and soap out of their residence. Yes, this is surely a terrifying act, and this is the reason why she received the nickname of the soap maker of Correggio. This once upon a time devoted mother was an incredibly superstitious lady. She allegedly executed the horrible violations to smash a family condemnations imposed on her by her parents for a wedding to a man they did not approve of at all. Number 3. Joana Barraza. She was born in 1957 to a drunken mother. In spite of this, Joana Barraza is a retired Mexican experienced wrestler, but later on, she became one of the most creative serial killers in Mexican history. You will find that between 1998 and 2006, Joana was an extremely big and athletic woman. And it might not surprise you, but she killed between 42 and 48 old women. Yes, you heard it right. And because of this, she earned the nickname the Old Lady Killer. It was a long idea that the murderer was a male, and it wasn't until January 2006 when she was imprisoned when she was leaving the residence of her latest sufferer. She was found sinful on 16 charges of murder and convicted to 759 years in prison. Number 2. Aileen Wuornos. Now in number 2 we have Aileen Wuornos, who was one of the most notorious American female serial murderers. Well, her past is terrible, and this became why she turned into a serial killer. First, she was sexually abused, and then she was thrown out of her home as a teen. And after that, she became a bread earner by working as a sex worker on Florida's roads, where she, in the year 1989, murdered her first victim, who was a man who had grabbed her up. If you see the reports, you will find that Wuornos went on to assassinate at least 5 other men before she was finally arrested, sentenced, and placed on death row. Wuornos was called America's first female serial killer by 1991. As I already told you, she resided on the roads and motels, assassinating men who grabbed her up on the side of the road. She argued that the killings were done in self-defense and that the men attempted to sexually attack her. Though her sanity was challenged, Wuornos was killed by lethal injections in 2002. Wuornos swapped the rights to her story nearly shortly after her detentions, which fascinated the media. Many documentaries were brought about her life, including the outstanding movie Monster, released in 2003. Number 1. Miyuki Ishikawa. The serial killer who tops this list is Miyuki Ishikawa, who may have guessed she was acting out of pity when she murdered over 100 babies, and thereby becoming history's toxic female serial killer. So, coming to her story, Miyuki Ishikawa was a Japanese midwife and possibly the most creative serial killer in Japanese history. With the assistance of various associates, including her husband, she assassinated between 85 and 169 babies in the 1940s. But why did she commit it? Of course, the easiest justifications was that their households were needy and couldn't educate the children without undergoing severe financial responsibility. But the substantial answer was much more complicated than that, and the Ishikawa trial had far-reaching outcomes in Japanese law. And let me say to you all that this is true tale of Miyuki Ishikawa, nicknamed the Demon Midwife. During the prosecution, Ishikawa contended that the parents were accountable for their casualties as they had abandoned the children. Surprisingly, her defense was partially victorious as she was just convicted to 8 years of jail for her violations. She even endured half of the verdict through a plea. So that's all for today's video. What do you think about this video? Have you found it useful? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and smash the bell icon to get more uploads like this. See you soon.